Grab a seat over there by the bench. I'll be with you in a second. Oh, a new face. Well, around these parts, not very often, but welcome nonetheless. I'm Dr. Brian. Nice to make your acquaintance. So, what can I help you with today? Okay, I see. Sidewinder spooked your horse and he bucked you off outside of town. He didn't get you, did he? The rattler, he didn't bite you, right? Good. Nasty devils, them. Oof, old Davis loses a sheep or two each month to those varmints. So, just some bumps and bruises? Oh, yeah, I can see. Yeah, Rock's got you good on the arms. Well, not to fear, I'll get you sorted. Just a couple of questions first. If you're not in too much pain, that is. Good, just gotta fill out the standard form. We may be rural, but we ain't above doing things right. Is this your first time in Golden Springs? All right, well, welcome. What is your full legal name? Wait a minute. You're all McCready's grandchild, aren't you? Oh my goodness. I am so embarrassed. Of course you are. You got your mother's eyes and your father's nose. How are you folks doing all the way in the big city? Well, that's fantastic to hear. Your old man, I always knew he would do great things. And your mother, yeesh. When she got her ticket out of this town, she ran up and down the main street waving it in everyone's face. Oh, well, suppose that was a long time ago. Anyway, where was I? Yes, your age. Wow, ain't we growing up quick? Any allergies? Okay. Sure. Okay. And any family history of disease or abnormalities? Good. Okay. Well, we're all set. Let me take a look at your arms. Yeah. Ooh, I'm sorry. Let me know if I'm hurting you. All right. Oh, I guess let me start cleaning you up. So, you spoken to anyone else since you rode in? Well, then, allow me to be the first to give you my condolences for your grandfather. His passing tore a hole in this town, a hole I don't think will ever be filled. Him and your grandmother practically built this town from the ground up. We all owe them a great deal. Here. Tell McCready, may he be panning for gold up in the big blue yonder. You are old enough to, right, well, whatever. Okay, well. I ain't gonna lie to you. This is gonna sting. So I suspect that's why you're here. To look after your grandfather's estate, right? Well, Margaret, she's the school teacher and good friends with your grandparents. She volunteered to take the walk up to McCready Ranch in the hills and make sure it's all locked up and no one's poking around the place. The sheriff sends a deputy up there every couple of days or so just to make sure the windows are closed and the doors locked. We sent words to your folks, but we had no way of knowing how long it would take for someone to get here. I suppose you made pretty good time, all things considered. Will your folks be making an appearance? Yeah, eventually. I'm surprised you didn't travel with them. University, huh? Whereabouts? A&M in Alabama. Wow. Guess that explains how you got here so quickly. What are you taking? Well, I'd say you're just about the smartest person in this whole town, myself included. How many years before you graduate? We're getting close, I see. Just taking some time off to see the old town, eh? Yeah, let's have a look at that other side. So how long you plan on staying? Unsure. Well, if I could talk you into staying a little while, I'm sure there'd be quite a few people who would love to meet you. Old McCready's grandkids, of course. Half the town would be thrilled to meet you. Like I said, everyone knew your folks. Or grandfolks, I should say. Well, let's see. First on the list, definitely be Margaret. She and your mother were best friends in school. Now she's the school teacher. Funny how that worked, I suppose. Can't forget about Miss Mathers and her husband Lefty. They were your grandparents' neighbors. They own the 8 sections to the east of your grandparents' farm. They grow cereal grains mostly. Hot peppers, too. Yeah, I know it stings, but just bear with me. Mr. Danielson, the barber. He was a good family friend. I remember this one time. Your father tried to cut his own hair with a set of horse shears and a polished tin plate. He was only 10 or so at the time. Still not sure why he done it, but Mr. Danielson had to nearly take him back to bald before it looked right again. Oh, and when his parents found out, they had to fork over the 10 cents to get Mr. Danielson to fix it before church. Oh, man, they grounded him till he nearly turned 12. I suppose you'll have to meet with Mr. Lang if you're here to look at the estate. He was your grandparents' accountant. He's the one you have to chat with to get the estate transferred. If you want to keep the house, of course. But I guess that's between you and your folks. I don't mean to push you, but your grandfolks' farm was, or I should say is, one of the nicest properties on all the estate. And I mean that. Some of the travelers have come to nickname it the McCready Manor, one of the larger homes in the whole area. Took your grandfather nearly 10 years to build it. Brick and stone, fire tile roof. Probably outlive all of us. I know if you want to sell it, Thomas the banker has had his eye on it for a while. One of the deputies caught him snooping around there a couple days ago. Makes me nervous. Truth be told, that man doesn't need a bigger head, let alone house. But, there are options if you and your folks are so inclined. I think that's looking pretty good. I might put some balm on it just to keep from scarring up. So, you have any other plans while you're here? Well, I'd be lying if I told you we had lots of tourist-like attractions. Let's just say we ain't New York. But, if you think out of the box a little, you can find plenty to do. Let's see. Panning down by the river. Your grandfather had a whole mess of pans and sleuths. Just last week, Winfred pulled out a nugget about the size of my thumb. Worth $20. Probably turned it mostly into drink at the saloon by now. Still, it's worth a day trip. You can go target shooting if you're into that sort of thing. Margaret's holding on to your granddaddy's Silver 6 last I heard. Well, being from the city, I can't imagine you'd have many chances to hone your eye. It's never too late to learn how to shoot. I know Sheriff James's son is learning to shoot right now. Trying to learn, I should say. Every other day I see the two of them coming up over the hills looking mighty defeated. Old sheriff came in here the other day, said if it wasn't for gravity, little Billy wouldn't be able to hit the ground. Oof. Pay for your own ammo. I'm sure you could tag along if you asked. Let's see, if you're one of the more adventurous types like your mother, you can take your horse through the river path northward. You just have to follow the train tracks through the trees. Absolutely beautiful this time of year. It's about an hour to the ghost town of Mostrom. Used to be a copper mine back 20 or so years, I think, but when the mine went dry, the town closed up for good. Still, it's quite a sight. Most of it's still standing. Pretty safe to explore as long as you don't do anything foolish. A few juveniles skipped out of school and went up. Found a couple sticks of dynamite left over from the mine. Decided to use them for target practice. Pulled a piece of shrapnel out of that one. About the size of a $2 coin. Luckily, it only hit him in the leg, but that's not to dissuade you, of course. It's a lovely day trip through the mountains. It's mostly safe all the way. That being said, if you want something a little more relaxed, there's this little tiny mesa about 10 minutes out of town. The side is sloped such that your horse will have no problem making it up to the summit. Most incredible view you ever did see overlooking the Joshua Tree Grove to the east. You plan your times just right, you get there at sunset. Wow. It's enough to steal your heart. You know, now that I think about it, I don't think it'd be smart to travel alone. Golden Springs is safe as can be, but outside the town, especially to the south, there have been a few incidents with bandits. I can't imagine they'd get close to Golden Springs. Sheriff James would sort them out in a heartbeat, but it might be wise to play it safe. Listen, if you pick a day you want to go around and see the sights and sounds, I know a half dozen in the area who would be thrilled to go with you. All right, here. Hold this up, and I'm just going to wrap this up carefully. There we go. How's that feeling? All right, let's do the other side. What can be done in town? Let's see. Old Benny used to be our town's carpenter, retired last year and opened up his own sweets shop just off the main stretch. Now, I can tell you, it was a surprise to everyone when he said making candy was his passion, but all qualms were put to rest when the town got a taste for what old Benny could make. I guarantee he will have something you like. No doubt in my mind. Not to mention he's just about the nicest person to ever walk this green earth, so just chatting to him is a pleasure unto itself. You could try your hands at horseshoes. The fellows and ladies get together after church behind the salon to throw the irons around. It's the best time to see the whole town. Everyone just chats for the most part. Sometimes we put a little wager on. I don't mean to brag, but last week, a penny a shot. I left home with a dime and returned with a quarter. Let's see. Miss Priscilla, she needs a hand weeding her gardens. Now, I know that doesn't seem like a good time, but all the while you get to listen to her stories of the 10-some years she spent traveling around Africa. Incredible stories. Fascinating, too. Last time she told a story at church, everyone stayed an extra hour just to hear how it ended. It'll make a day in the garden feel like a trip around the world. And when you're done, she's likely to give you an armful of tubers and a slice of pie as thanks. Well worth the trade if you ask me. Oh, and her neighbor, Miss Jennings, her old dog just had a litter of puppies. Now, I don't care who you are, rich, poor, pastor, or thief, everyone loves puppies. Last I heard, the darn things were driving her wild while she's trying to do her chores in the day. She's paying one of the schoolboys a penny a day to look after them. Now, sure as I can be, if I wasn't so busy patching up burns and bruises, I'd take that penny myself. There we go. Now just hang on to this for me. There. Oh, how those arms feeling? Good, good, good. Let me put you together something for the bruises. How long did you say it would take for your folks to arrive? Well, if they're coming down from Philadelphia by rail and carriage, I'd say it would only take, 10 days or so? Well, I suppose that would mean they would be here in the next day, I guess. Maybe 2, maybe 3. Well, that's great news. I'll have to have a chat with Margaret, see if we can't just get a little get-together dinner together for you and your folks when they arrive. Well, of course it's necessary. Half the town grew up with your folks, and the other half has heard so many stories they're probably sick to death of hearing them. Now, we haven't had a town get-together in forever. This would make the perfect excuse. Chat a little, eat a lot. Remember the good old times? I think that's what old McCready would have wanted. None of that bawling and belly aching down at the church. Good food, friends, and memories. Guess we'll float that by your folks when they turn up. Jenny and Todd work the bakery. It's been tight with the drought, but still managed to churn out every morning breads and confections. We had a little hint they were bulking up the loaves with potato meal, but I can't tell the difference, truth be told. Still good as ever. And Freeman makes the best pit-fired beef you ever had in your entire life. Chalk it up to his heritage, but he makes a sauce with molasses and vinegar. Change the way you think of meat. And Sherry and her 4 daughters, well, they have a way with vegetables to make even the most grizzled roughneck eat his grains. Anyway, you're all set. Just slather this on your bruises when they give you trouble, and you'll be right as rain. Oh no, you don't owe me a thing. Just a scrape and bruise. Ain't nothing to it. Nah, keep your cash. Besides, I owed your grandfather a few bucks from a ways back. This is me paying him off. Now, do you have any plans for the rest of the day? Well, I'd be happy to show you around town and introduce you to some of the folks around here. Oh, sure, I got time. No other appointments till later, and even then I'm just making a house call. Come on. Oh, I cannot wait to see the look on Margaret's face when I tell her who you are.